Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I rise today to give voice to the vulnerable Californians who need voice today to ensure that our budget prioritizes them, as it should. It is often said, and it's been said here today, that our budget should be a statement of our values, and it should. And that is what I ask today of this Committee of the Whole and this body, that we hold true to our values and fund the programs for those that need us most. So today, I rise on behalf of California's women and children. I am sober about the fiscal realities we face, understanding we must make hard decisions to balance this budget. But we must do so while not making the most vulnerable Californians pay the majority of that price. The cuts to our seniors, our children, and our women are devastating in the proposed May revise. Is that who we are as a state? First, for the women of California. As chairperson of the Select Committee on Women's Reproductive Health, we have spent the last year and a half examining the issues around access to reproductive health. California is grappling with epidemic levels of STIs, and experts expect the rate of those STIs to increase as the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath continue. Planned Parenthood health centers are seeing an increase in positive pregnancy tests, and safety net providers are bracing for an increase in uninsured patients. Now is not the time to cut funding for healthcare providers in the middle of a public health crisis. Proposition 56 is the backbone of many reproductive health care providers like Planned Parenthood, who have already been faced with a rash of attacks from anti-abortion lawmakers at the federal level. Funding for health care must be a priority in this budget, and reproductive health care is health care. The lives and safety of Californians are on the line. And let me be clear, a $100 million cut to family planning services is a $1 billion loss in healthcare in California. Family planning services currently receive an enhanced federal match of 9-to-1 to encourage access to those services. This is the highest federal match rate of any type of service in California. If the current version of the May revise is adopted, Planned Parenthood and other reproductive health care providers would lose those federal funds, which have already been approved through the end of December 2021. This means, although we may save $100 million by cutting these services, we lose $1 billion in sexual and reproductive care for family-packed and Medi-Cal patients. That is not smart fiscal decision-making. Planned Parenthood affiliates will be forced to lay off staff. Patients will see increased wait times. Services and funding for additional programs will be cut, including sex education and clinic escorts, and health centers will close. Without Planned Parenthood, hundreds of thousands of patients will lose access to care. Life-saving services like cancer screenings and wellness visits will no longer be accessible in vulnerable communities that need it most. As California reaches historic levels of unemployment, it is anticipated that 2.6 million California workers and dependents are at risk of losing employer-based health care. Those patients will likely turn to these safety net providers. But Proposition 56 funds are the backbone of Planned Parenthood's ability to keep doors open and provide high-quality care. So I want to know, have these federal dollars been counted when we look at these cuts we're making? Are we making the right decisions? I also want to speak for the children of California. I'm the mother of 3 school-age children in one of the lowest funded school districts in this state. There is nothing left to cut except the quality of California's children's education. The 10% across the board cuts to schools is the largest cut of its kind in the governor's proposed budget. It's more than 25% of the cuts we are making. What does this say about our values? Our children are our future, and they deserve our investment, not our leftovers. My district has cut everything there is to cut, and it will be student services that take this hit. Please, members, let us not make California's children pay the price.